Welcome to Right on Track, brought to you by the Publishing Club of Laguna Woods. I am your host, Dianna Bolen. Our guest today is not here, and she will remain unnamed. She had multiple accidents resulting in several broken bones. An unlucky break, pun intended. So I could either cancel the show or do something different. And I chose to do something different. And that is the purpose of today's show. The title of today's show is When Things Don't Go the Way You Expected. So, if things always go the way you expect, you can stop watching now. For everybody else, I hope I can provide specific suggestions to make your life easier when the unexpected and unwanted happens. Let's consider an example. You are driving home in your brand new car. The new car smell combines with your sense of pride about your purchase. You are feeling optimism and hope about the future possibilities this new car presents. You imagine the places you will go, the increased freedom you will have, showing your friends and family, being warm in the winter and cool in the summer. No more public transportation, Lyft, or Uber. Your reverie is shattered by the sound of screeching tires on asphalt. You see the oncoming vehicle headed right toward you. Time slows down and you watch in horror as a head-on collision happens. You're helpless. The airbag deploys and you pass out. Today, I am fortunate to be alive. I have one precious human life. I am not going to waste it. I am going to use all my energies to develop myself, to expand my heart out to others, to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. I'm going to have kind thoughts toward others. I'm not going to get angry or think badly of others. I'm going to benefit others as much as I can. That was the morning prayer by the Dalai Lama. And that is where I want to start with our talk today about when things go wrong, what do you do? First of all, what I'd like you to think about is the fact that you have different parts of your brain. Now, we kind of know that, but I'm just going to reduce it to two for now, okay? You have your reptile brain, which is right down at the brain stem, and then you have your neocortex, which is on top. There's something in the middle, but for our purposes, we're not going to talk about that. There's a lot of stuff in there. But for our purposes, those are the two. Now, why is the reptile brain important? Well, it's for your survival, okay? It handles all the basic emotions, but it has no words and no logic. So that means that when your reptile brain is activated, you're in fight, flight, mode, and there is no rational way to be. However, when you're in your neocortex, you can think about things and ask yourself, is this the kind of reaction I want to have? So going back to our example, even the one at the beginning of the show, I used my neocortex, my narrative brain, to evaluate what's going on. What are my choices? What do I want to do? What makes the most sense? While my reptile brain is going, yee! Oh my goodness! Now that's relevant because anytime something happens that you cannot control, your first reaction is going to be most likely one of fear, anger, survival, just like in the car accident example. After things calm down, after you're able to collect yourself, you have the chance to figure out what you're going to do next. And basically, I do want you to come out of whatever event we're talking about better off than when the event happened. So I called the part of the brain the neocortex, or the narrative brain. And that part of the brain, because it has words, can make up stories, can predict into the future, can make sense of the past. That's important, but it's also a little tricky. Because if you assume that you are just unlucky, that's the narrative that you might live by, as opposed to a narrative that says, I'm just a lucky person. It's a really good thing that nothing happened in the accident except losing consciousness. So understanding that you have a choice in terms of what you're telling yourself goes a long way to being able to survive anything that happens to you that you experience as unpleasant or unwanted. After you figure out your narrative, then you can go on to do other things. But let me just circle back once more to the narrative because it's so important. How do you know what your narrative is? Well, you need to practice mindfulness. You need to be aware of what it is you're telling yourself about the world and the things you experience in it. That's a very important thing, and I've done other videos on mindfulness, and will continue to do videos on mindfulness, and I encourage you to see them. I do them with the Thrive group. Being aware of your narrative helps you evaluate whether that narrative helps you feel better or helps you feel worse. And that's really important. Besides your personal narrative, it's also important to do self-care. Now, self-care is such a big catch-all phrase, so I'm going to list a few things that I encourage you to try. Any one of them would be great. More than one, even better. One good way to nurture yourself is to spend time in nature. And we are so lucky here at Laguna Woods because we have a lot of nature. We have a lot of wildlife, thank goodness, no mountain lions, but coyotes can be a problem, but still we have a lot. You can be fascinated by a coyote, just keep your distance, protect your dog. But we have a lot of nature, and a walk in nature can go very far in helping you with self-care. Particularly if you pay attention to what's going on around you, the sounds of the birds, the feeling of your feet on the sidewalk, the sunlight on your skin, the breathing of you as you walk and how that might change as you exert yourself. Also, as part of self-care, saying hello to other people that you meet in the woods. There are plenty of them, and they're all delighted to say hello. Another thing you can do is listen to music. Music is a wonderful way, it's been shown by research to be a wonderful way to change your mental state. Of course, if you're playing some very hard music that has a hard beat that might get you worked up, might not be the best choice. But there's plenty of good music out there. You can listen to old tunes that you love, or you can try to find something new, or classical music, or even there's music out now on the streaming services that's very relaxing and kind of background music, better than elevator music though. You can also try meditation and mindfulness, which I mentioned before, and there are other videos to talk about that, and I hope you look at them. You can do something like yoga. Now, you may say, oh, not me, I can't do yoga, but actually, there are many videos out there on YouTube that you can look at that are for beginners, and taking just 5 minutes to be with your body, to do an easy stretch, not anything that's going to pull a muscle, just being gentle with yourself can be very helpful. And I believe we also have yoga classes here at the Woods for little or no money. Also, you could get a massage. Now, I don't think we have massages here in the Woods, but certainly around here you can find somebody and get a massage, or you could even trade massages with a friend. Perhaps just a foot massage. Doesn't have to be anything more. Another thing to do is to change your scenery. So maybe you want to take that a bus that's going to take you to Mission Viejo shops and be with other people from the woods there and look around. You don't have to buy anything, but it's a change of scenery. Or even go to a different part of the woods. Our woods are so vast. Finally, in this holiday season, you might consider time with friends and loved ones. It's a simple thing. And so often people tend to isolate when they're feeling like the world is against them. And that is the exact wrong thing to do. Be with somebody. Be with somebody who might be willing to give you a hug. Be with somebody who shares your distress. Be with somebody who can offer words of encouragement. Also, something that's right on the cusp between the narrative that you tell yourself and self-care is what's called gratitude work. Gratitude work is spending time to acknowledge the things in your life that are going well and saying thank you. Doesn't have to be thank you, Lord, can just be thank you. But if you'd like to thank the Lord, go right ahead. It depends on your own view of spirituality and religion. Thank you. Thank you for the beautiful Laguna Woods that we live in, with all the sunshine and greenery and good people and great activities. Thank you for another day when I can be alive and enjoying my life. And even if you're disabled or struggling with financial issues, there are people here that want to help you. You have to reach out there, though. You must not isolate yourself. The other thing you can do is control your environment. Now, that's only, how do I want to say this? We don't have control over anything totally, but you can control what you watch on TV. You can either watch things that are uplifting, or you can watch things that are depressing. You can watch things that cause you to worry, get angry, fearful, or you can watch things that make you laugh. There was some research way back when that I think was debunked, but that somebody cured themselves by watching videos that caused them to laugh a hearty laugh. And even if that wasn't proven to be true, I'll bet that person felt better after a hearty laugh. So you can control your environment. You can control the kind of experience you have in your everyday life. Be aware of that and take the time to evaluate what your environment is doing to you. Another thing that's important to know about and pay attention to are your emotions. Emotions happen in the reptile brain. They happen throughout your brain, but they start back there because it's fight or flight. Now, emotions can be problematic because reptiles eat their young. You don't want to go there. So instead, Be aware that you are having emotions and be curious about them. Some might say, lean into them. So don't try to push away your sadness. Don't try to push away your anger. Just don't act on it. They're two different processes. So you can have emotions, and they will not destroy you. And that's real important because some people who have been traumatized are particularly frightened of emotions. They feel like if they don't keep a grip on those emotions, that they will begin to just take them over, make them crazy, and cause them to explode. But it isn't true. It's not true. Your emotions are there to tell you what's important to you. So from that standpoint, they are your friends. Even your sadness and your anger tells you something about what you value, what is important to you. And knowing what's important to you then helps you determine your next course of action. Emotions help you to clarify your purpose. What purpose? I'm retired. Oh, no. We all have a purpose. You wake up in the morning and you have a purpose. Even if it's to enjoy your cup of coffee, cup of tea, reach out to a friend, that may be your purpose. Maybe it's working in the garden or going for a workout. What is your purpose? When your world, the bigger world, feels like it's crashing down on you, it's important to pull in and to think about not only what nurtures you, but also what gives your life meaning. Not anybody else. Don't make your life meaning dependent on anybody else. Your values are your values. They are the things that make your life livable. So take a moment and think about what you value, what you really value. And if you've had bad feelings recently, think about what those feelings are saying about your values. So to summarize, lean into the feelings. Don't be afraid of them. They are going to help you figure out what your purpose is in life. And in this life, in our short life, we don't have that much longer to live, so take the time to figure out what's important. Take the time to allow yourself to be nurtured by friends, family, and your choice of activities. Also, and finally, have faith. Allow things to unfold. The person in the car wreck, or, for example, the person unable to show up today as my guest, I had no idea what to do. But what I did was I kind of just had faith that things would unfold. And if this wasn't my best show, well, I tried, and I had fun doing it. So the unfolding is something that occurs over a period of time and is part of the narrative. And I'll give you a quick story. I might not be quoting it exactly right, but a farmer had 4 sons, and all of them wanted to go and fight in the war. We'll put aside any thoughts about war right now. It's just a story that I'm telling you. So, and all of them wanted to fight in the war. And all but one brother was able to go because one brother fell off a horse, broke both legs, and just wasn't able to march. That brother was heartbroken because he could not go and be with his other brothers. Now, is that the end of the story? It is not. The end of the story is that his brothers who went to war were killed, and he was the only one left alive. So what looked like a bad thing was actually, at least for him, a good thing. And that is something to remember in terms of having faith, that the story is always unfolding. And even though, as they say, it's darkest before the dawn, there are many sayings out there to provide hope, to encourage you to wait till things unfold, and they will continue to unfold. That is our world. It never stops. Another saying is, this too shall pass. So take a deep breath and tell yourself, whatever's been going on that's troubling you, this too shall pass. I have faith. I will let things unfold. Now, I will go back once more to read the Dalai Lama, because I think that's a really neat prayer for us to conclude with. It's an aspirational prayer. What I mean by that is, no, I can't do all the things that the Dalai Lama suggests, but it's good to align myself to those values when I wake up in the morning. Today, I am fortunate to be alive. I have one precious life. I'm not going to waste it. I am going to use all my energies to develop myself. However you can do that, to expand my heart out to others. We all need that. To achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. Enlightenment is kind of means, being aware that there's things bigger than yourself, and that narrative is flexible. I'm going to have kind thoughts toward others. Good thing. And I'm not going to get angry or think badly of others. I'm going to benefit others as much as I can. Well, that concludes another episode of Right on Track, brought to you by the Publishing Club of Laguna Woods, right here on TV6. We're here Mondays at 10:30 a.m. and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Thanks to the staff here at TV6 for all your expertise and flexibility today. May you follow your dreams with passion, persistence, and faith. See you again soon.